Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the anatomy of a fight. What does it really take to persevere when the odds are stacked against you?
Let's kick things off with this killer quote from Matthew McConaughey. It's so powerful, right? Because every single struggle, every fight, it always starts with this one choice. What's actually worth fighting for? You can't just charge ahead, you've got to know what's my hill.
So before any battle even begins, the real fight, the first one, it's always internal. It's all about building the right mindset for that climb.
Okay, so let's really unpack this. What McConaughey's getting at is, we spend so much of our lives chasing what other people think is success. But his whole point is that real success, that's something you have to define for yourself. It's not some finish line you cross. Nope. It's more like a garden you have to tend. You got to put in the work day in and day out to maintain it.
This right here, this really gets you thinking, doesn't it? It's all about risk. So think about it. Would you rather play it a bit safe, take fewer risks, and succeed almost every time? Or would you take way more shots, knowing you're going to fail a lot more often, but maybe, just maybe, achieve something bigger in the long run? McConaughey's bet is on the second option. He's arguing that a life packed with attempts, even the ones that crash and burn, is just a richer, more meaningful life.
Speaking of relentless trying, let's talk about someone who is the absolute embodiment of that idea, Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. And this quote, wow, it just perfectly captures that brutal honesty of the internal fight, doesn't it? 10. Just let that sink in. That is the number of times Jack Ma applied to get into Harvard. And you know what? Every single time they told him no. Can you even imagine getting that 9th rejection letter and still finding it in you to send out a 10th? That's just incredible.
And oh, it did not stop there. Not even close. After he graduated, he applied for 30 different jobs, 30, and every single one of them turned him down. That's 30 doors slammed right in his face.
This next one it's almost hard to believe. So KFC comes to a city, right? 24 people apply for a job. 23 of them get hired. You want to guess who the one person was who got rejected? Yep, Jack Ma. His entire journey is just a masterclass in perseverance. It proves that winning that internal fight, the one against despair and wanting to quit, that's the absolute foundation for any kind of success.
All right, so we've talked about the internal fight. Now let's shift gears and step into the external arena with what might be one of the greatest underdog stories of all time. So, picture this. It's 1980. You've got the U.S. Olympic hockey team. Basically a bunch of college kids, average age is just 21. And who are they up against? The Soviet Union, a literal dynasty of seasoned professionals who hadn't lost a single Olympic game since 1968. They were the 4-time defending gold medalists. I mean, it doesn't get more David versus Goliath than this. And here's the crazy part. The Soviets' complete and total dominance, it actually became their biggest weakness, their blind spot. Just a few weeks before the Olympics, they had absolutely crushed the U.S. team, 10-3. Their own coach even said later that this blowout win turned out to be a very big problem because it made them totally underestimate the Americans. And that's what set the stage for one of the biggest upsets in sports history.
The game itself was an absolute roller coaster. At the end of the first period, the U.S. somehow claws its way to a tie. Then, the Soviets just dominate the second period. But then, in the third, the U.S. team scores 2 goals, taking a 4-3 lead. And then they had to hang on for 10 of the longest, most intense minutes you will ever see in sports. Just unbelievable pressure.
And of course, that led to this iconic line from Al Michaels. It just captured everything in that single moment, didn't it? The shock, the euphoria, the absolute disbelief. This was so much more than just a hockey game. It was a moment that an entire generation would never, ever forget.
Okay, so we've seen this incredible, explosive, single moment of victory. But what about the other kinds of fights? The ones that don't have a final buzzer, the ones that don't have a clear ending? Well, that's where we're going next.
This image right here from the American Bar Association's journal is so powerful because it shows us a totally different kind of fight. It's not one single event. It's like a mosaic, right? It's made up of thousands of little pieces, protests, court cases, small acts of courage. It represents a struggle that's been going on for a long, long time and is still being fought today.
Yeah, these are the kinds of fights that are true marathons, not sprints. They're not won in a day or a year. They're fought by entire generations, over decades. I'm talking about things like the long, hard struggle for voting rights, or the ongoing battle to make sure our justice system is fair for everyone. a fight that is still happening in courtrooms as we speak. And this is so important because it adds a whole new layer to how we think about what a fight is. It's not always about that one dramatic, movie-ending win. Sometimes it's about the quiet, enduring commitment to a cause. Victory in these fights, it's measured in inches, not miles. It's about slow, steady progress over a lifetime.
So we've looked at these totally different kinds of fights, the internal one, the big upset, the long marathon. What's the common thread here? What's the big takeaway? Well, maybe it's that we need to completely redefine what it even means to win.
I mean, think about it. Is victory really just the final score on the board? Is it just the IPO or the gold medal? We are so focused on these big, shiny external markers of success, but are they really the only things that matter?
And this brings us right back to Matthew McConaughey. He has this great line where he talks about hearing a story that's just a bunch of facts and stats, and he asks, where was the soul in that story? He's searching for the meaning behind it all, the quality, not just the quantity.
Because at the end of the day, maybe the real win isn't just about the outcome. Maybe it's found in the courage it takes to even try in the first place, in the resilience you build when you fail, and in the soul that you pour into your fight. When you break down the anatomy of any great fight, what you find is that the true victory isn't just about reaching the top of that hill. It's about who you become and the purpose you find on the climb up.